everybody. We back again.
We're back and we're live.
There it is. I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Dr. Nas.
Ooh.
Hello, ladies.
I'm a doctor. I can take your pulse.
Doctor. I'm doing surgeries now.
Yeah,
I'm prescribing meds.
He's doing all the BBLs for all you ladies out there.
Oh my God. Jesus.
Making you look like ants. All right. So, and of course, we have our special guest today. She's an LCT. It's Vicky, everybody. Right. Like a clinical therapist.
LCT. I'm like, what the hell? She on PCP too?
I'm like, what's that? That's new.
LCT.
I'll take it though if it pays more.
Well, it doesn't.
It's like close enough.
Less. You actually have to pay us to say it. So there you go.
Broke.
Well, gotta get some money. This is a Different Spectrums podcast, everybody, where we talk about movies, shows, and the mental health aspects that surround them. We also like to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. Also, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Do it all. Share, subscribe. Let people know who we are, even though you probably don't want to know us in the first place. It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. So today we're going to be talking about Step Brothers. So we're going to have a fun one today. We're going to do two scenes from Step Brothers. One is how we talk about who's our best friends and how do we become each other's best friends. Sometimes it can be simple. Sometimes it can be complex. In this scene, it's very simple. Very simple. And then the next thing that we're going to talk about are job interviews, where Dale and Brennan have a job interview, or actually a couple job interviews. And so we're going to get into our own personal stories of job interviews and how we've just messed them up, or, just kind of are like, well, that sucked. That sucked.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just walk out now. I'm going to go ahead and head out like SpongeBob.
Anything before we get into the clips, Nas?
I'm excited to talk about trials and tribulations of job interviews. I'm excited to talk about. I got some tribulations, man. I got some realizations, some confabulations. I got some stuff to talk about.
All the Asians.
Yep. Because it's been a ride, boy. I'm telling you, I'm excited to do that. Again, we've updated some of the websites, some of the link trees. We got resources on there now and PDFs, mental health apps. It's all free to access. So go into the link tree if you want. Go on to that stuff. I've also got my external resource Google Drive listed, and it's got so much stuff. It's like literally a Google Palace for mental health related issues. And then of course there's a tip jar. So it's all free, but we want them donations like church. I need some tidings. But in all seriousness, no, it does help us make more programming and more help. And if you don't, then Catholic guilt on you. So really excited. Let's get into this pod and have some fun. Right after this commercial, because we broke as hell.
Yeah. 10 cents.
Yeah. Booty whoop.
Alice, we're just talking. It was not about sex or anything.
I can't believe you hit Derek.
I know. Did you see the expression on his face?
Yeah.
That was cool.
Listen, I know that we started out as foes, but after that courageous act that you showed me against the one they call Derek, maybe someday we could become friends. Friends who ride majestic, translucent steeds, shooting flaming arrows across the bridge of Himdale.
I would follow you into the mists of Avalon, if that's what you mean.
Do you want to see something super cool that only 3 people have ever seen in their lifetimes? Okay, open your eyes.
Whoa.
See that black smudge right there on the blade?
Yeah?
Look at it closely. pretty recognizable signature.
No.
Randy Jackson from American Idol.
Why do you have Randy Jackson's autograph on a martial arts weapon?
Because I bumped into him and all I had on me was this samurai sword, and you're not gonna not get Randy Jackson's autograph, right?
I would have done the exact same thing. Now, do you want to see something really cool?
Of course.
Turn off the lights. Industrial strength night vision goggles.
Holy Santa Claus shit. Can you imagine if we had these when we were 12?
Even better, we got them when we're 40.
You know what's amazing? They're not that noticeable on your face.
Right?
Yeah.
Ah! Ah!
I can't believe I've been living here for 2 weeks, and I'm walking around this place thinking I've got a huge doucher for a stepbrother. Secretly, you're not a doucher.
Let's play a game, all right? On the count of 3, name your favorite dinosaur. Don't even think about it, just name it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor.
Favorite non-pornographic magazine to masturbate to?
Good housekeeping.
If you were a chick, who's the one guy you would sleep with?
John Stamos. What?
Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
I think they're starting to like each other.
I got a really bad feeling about this.
Sword fight!
I know! Sword fight!
Exactly the same!
Oh, it's so weird.
Now you're in trouble. No, they're betting against you, but you can do it!
This is a bad time.
What the hell's going on?
Ma, Mr. Doback. Okay, Dale and I
Please
were
stop
just...
calling me Mr. Doback.
Sorry. Okay, Mom, Doback. We think it would be very prudent.
Can we turn our beds into bunk beds?
Yes.
Why are you guys so sweaty?
All right, we've already figured out how to do this. The beds match up perfectly.
And here's the thing, it'll give us so much extra space in our room to do activities.
Please say yes.
You don't need permission from us to build bunk beds. You're adults. You can do what you want.
So...
I'm not making myself clear. I don't give a fuck. Now, you both have several interviews tomorrow. I would think you'd be focused on that and not building bunk beds.
So no?
Yes. Yes.
Sweet.
You can make fun.
I knew it.
Okay, you guys are not going to regret this. We're going to get so much more activities done.
This is the funnest night ever.
This is so scary.
How you doing over there?
Really good. Okay.
Does your son know anything about carpentry?
No, not a. Did I hear a drill?
Dale!
Power tools.
Dale, no power tools!
Oh, what?
No power tools!
You know what? I forgot I have to brush my teeth.
That is not your toothbrush!
Oh, okay. I'm all done anyway.
We did it.
We did it.
It looked amazing.
Look at that. That looks like what you would buy from a store.
It should have been
Look
a
at all
bunk
this
bed
floor
along.
space.
So
We
much.
do aerobics in here.
So many activities.
Do step class.
It's making my head spin how many activities we can do.
Play Army Man.
Yeah.
This is how we do it.
Da, 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 da.
Hey, I never asked you.
Yeah.
You like guacamole? Oh! Oh, Brennan! Oh, God! Brennan! Brennan! Dad, Nancy, it's bad. It's so bad. There's blood everywhere. The bunk beds were a terrible idea. Why did you let us do that? It's so bad!
How would you describe that?
Whoa. It's not so bad.
Right. See? Put your beds back. Rumpus time is over. You got a big day tomorrow. You need your 8 hours.
Mr. Huff, Mr. Jenner is ready for your interview.
Actually, we'll be interviewing as a team.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Dazzling, dilated,
We all live on stage. Move it. Check it out, you're now rocking with the best. Dilated display a new sound. We all live on stage.
Well, Brennan, you certainly have had a lot of jobs.
I'm a bit of a spark plug and human resources lady.
It's Pam.
I'm sorry. Well, Pan.
No, my name is Pam.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
I'm saying Pam. Yeah, I'm sorry. Who's this gentleman sitting behind you?
Hello, Ms. Lady. I'm Dale. I'm Brennan's stepbrother, and I think I might be able to help with the Pan-Pam dilemma.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Pam.
Pam, oh no.
Pam.
Panned.
With an
There's
M.
a D on the end.
There's no D. It's Pam.
It's like calm.
Here, it's
Except
P.
P-A-N-M.
M.
N.
Two M's.
M.
That was the confusion.
No, there's just one M.
What do you say we interview you?
All right. Yes, that's a sometimes useful exercise. Please put your hand down. Go ahead.
How much money do you make a year before taxes?
Okay, I'm actually not comfortable answering that.
Come on!
We're doing the interview now, not you.
Okay, here's a shot out of a cannon. Oprah, Barbara Walters, your wife. You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go!
I think we're done here. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, I needed someone to
Wait, shut your
work
mouth.
this.
Shut your mouth.
I think we've had enough.
Shut for
here.
1 second.
Shut your mouth.
I needed someone
Wait,
to
shut your
work
mouth.
this.
Shut your mouth.
I'm sorry? What did
You're
you
just
say?
coming off stupid.
I'm coming off as stupid. You're wearing tuxedos to a job that requires you to clean bathrooms. Please leave this office. We're done with this interview.
Do we get any sort of souvenir?
Get out of my office!
Yeah, I'm just looking to hire guys that I don't mind hanging out with for like 12 hours a day. You guys seem like cool guys. You got hair similar to mine. You wear tuxedos to the interview. That's funny. It's ironic. I get that. You're kind of underplaying the whole formality of it. I think that's funny as hell. So let's do this. You know, you guys are hired. You're in, you know, unless you're like the weirdest guys ever and I don't see it.
Great.
Was that a fart?
I don't know.
I can taste it on my tongue.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. I did fart.
Is that onion? Onion and ketchup. It stinks. And this is a small room. Shit. Okay, now the tuxedos seem kind of fucked up.
God, we were so...
All right. We back again.
Like hot sauce.
All right, fair enough.
It didn't make no sense.
I guess it comes out the other end. That's what
Get you twice. Get you going in, get you going out.
There you go.
That's true.
See, your dumbness has some clarity in it.
It's like a circle.
It's like a circle.
Okay.
All right. So, a little background about Step Brothers if you haven't seen it. If you haven't, shame on you. Shame on you. Will Ferrell movie, obviously. All about this couple, the older couple that meet each other at like a convention, and then they fall in love, and they have these two sons who are in their 40s and still live at home and are very dependent on their parents. Very dependent. And so we have Brennan and Dale, and they both meet each other for the first time, don't like each other at all.
Nope.
One would say one put some genitalia on his on one's drum set.
Jesus.
For some people that might be the ultimate disrespect. Might be. And yeah, so they just fight all the time, and then one day they just are like, let's see if we like each other at all. And so that's the scene that we see, the first scene where, are we about to be best friends right now?
Yep.
Yup.
Yep.
Yep. And there you go. So just saw the scene. What were both of your reactions? We can go into like reactions when you first saw it, or if you can't remember, like what was your first reaction when you just saw it right now?
Go ahead, Vic.
I
For me, is Dale who's Dale? The one with the super curly hair? Not Will Ferrell.
I think that is Dale. I believe. I
Yeah,
believe so.
I can't take him serious because of his hairline. I'm sorry. He's a big goof.
Damn.
And I
Can't take
seen him
Nas
in
seriously.
like cartoon. What's that? Cartoon Network, the late night show stuff. He had a show on there.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't take him serious.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he did.
there's just a bunch of goofs, like how they were just like, are we best friends right now? Like, so like the male bonding and then wanting to do all that stuff. And, the bump bits is probably like the funniest scene ever in that movie. That I think for me, the bed falling down Will Ferrell, that gets me every time. Because it's like, you guys are fucking idiots if you thought this was going to be structurally sound and nothing was going to happen. No one's going to not get hurt. So, it's a lot of like just dumb humor, but I think for me, like where it starts to get funny is before they do the bump bed and they're like asking their parents like, "Can we do this? Can we do this?" And the dad's like, "I don't give a fuck." Like, how many times do I have to say it? Like, I don't give a shit what you guys do. Get the fuck out of our room. So I just thought that was kind of funny. And then one thing that I drew from that as being a parent, it's like how the mom's so kind of like laissez-faire, like she goes with the flow, and dad's kind of just like authoritarian, like, no, you guys are not going to do that. You guys are going to get jobs. You're going to do this, X, Y, Z. So I thought that was pretty funny. How mom is chill, nonchalant, and the dad's like, get out my room, get out my face.
Yeah.
So
blunt.
Yeah. That was my reaction.
Very blunt. Boy, I forgot a lot of that. Right, I remember that one day. We go, well, we friends now? Nah. Like I remember that. I don't remember all the other things. So
being together.
Some of my more innocent followers or clients or students that are watching this, I am so sorry.
Fuck out of here. Whatever. We literally watched a show about crack. I think they'll be fine.
Oh, well, we watched the show about crack, man. We didn't watch it.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So it's okay. Just fast forward. Well, technically you've already seen it, so just deal with it now.
Fast forward. I didn't see anything. What are you talking about?
I'm joking.
Sure.
I'm joking.
Sure.
So super funny, dude. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna talk about it after you talk real quick. But this is how dudes make friends, man. Like they be like, what my man's doing right now, or what he's thinking about. He's thinking about chopping fucking Cheetos with a saber.
I mean, hey, can't say it hasn't crossed my mind before.
I'm trying to tell you, they're like, he's probably thinking about cheating on me, or how I'm too ugly, or this or that, or it's like, no, he's literally thinking about making a bunk bed with his best friend and hoping he doesn't die.
Yeah. Simple. We're simple people.
Simple.
We don't need complexities.
We're filthy animals. Yep.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Hey.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking about. I just like how simple they were. Obviously super freaking neurodivergent, which leads me, you always see these neurodivergent characters or they're coded neurodivergent on the spectrum, but none of their parents look to be on the spectrum at all. So it just seems like neurotypicals are having autistic kids, which is always kind of concerning for me. So I'm like, it's genetics. So well, your mama or your daddy both got it now. So that's one theme that I saw that I didn't like. Other than that, completely fucking hilarious. Obviously, I was rolling in it. It's like when you see a good mud pile, and you just want to roll in it.
Where are you from? Like you're from
I never
Michigan.
feel that way.
You're not from fucking
okay.
Texas or somewhere.
Almost
you see some
in the mud.
You see some purple kush and you want to roll in it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Spence, you go ahead and talk now.
Jesus.
Why I drop my peaches on you?
Wow.
He's ready for his interview.
Yeah, he's really ready. Yeah, it's just one of those iconic scenes. Literally, everyone can quote it. Everyone, like, you still hear it today, even if you haven't seen the movie. Like, everyone says, "Are we best friends? Did we just become best friends right now?"
Yeah.
Yep. And the music.
Do you want to get married, bro?
I mean,
or wait a minute. That's
always gotta go that.
Yeah, maybe that
mothers.
was. Sorry, it's too gay. Sorry.
What? You? No. I just think that yeah, it's just so easy for us to just bond with like the dumbest shit. But it's not dumb. Like, it's, means something to us in some way. So we're just like, even if it's like Legos or, something like that, it doesn't really matter. Because we'll always find a way to make sure that it's important to us in some way. And kind of going off of what Vic said, I kind of have a question. So for men, we have our ways of bonding. How would you say, how do you bond with other women? Like, what do you kind of like talk about, or specifically to you? You don't have to talk about just women in general, but you can.
Yeah. I want you to speak for all the white women.
You are up.
You said white women?
I'm joking.
Yeah, got me fucked up. No, I'm kidding. For me personally, like, it takes a lot for me to like speak to a person, another female that I don't know. Even like, for me, it's weird. Like, when another woman compliments me, it's weird because it's like, are you being funny or are you being sincere?
Oh my God.
I kind of, no, seriously, like, and there's reasons behind that, because I've been teased about. I used to get teased by boys in middle school and elementary school from like 4th grade to 7th grade because I had a big ass gap, and I was always a skinny girl with no boobs, no ass. So I get teased about a lot of stuff.
Jesus.
So when I say, like, I get compliments from random women, like I wore something the other day and I was out and this lady was like, "Oh, it was yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday. I wore this green top and the shoulders were kind of cut out." And it was a waitress. She was like, "I really love your top." And I was like, "Thank you." And it was just like, "Oh, okay, thanks." Like, it's hard for me to take a compliment without it having some underlying meaning to it. But anyway, to answer your question.
Wait a minute. You were like, she was like, "I like your top." You were like, "How fucking dare you, you bitch."
I just wanted a tip. Jesus.
God.
No, it was a random waitress. It wasn't our waitress. It was just, she was just walking past. She's like, "I really love your top." And I was like, "Thank you."
You're like, "I'm taken."
Jesus. Oh my God. So do you think that you have more of a connection with like men, or do you connect more with women then?
I feel like I connect more with men.
Okay.
Because it's not an expectation. Like, I could chill with the bros and I'm not worried about having to look a certain way or be a certain way or be feminine. I can be me. I can be both feminine and masculine, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But a story I just shared with you guys, I had a training last week, a 2-day training. And I have a cousin that has stage 4 cancer, so she can't tend to my hair like she used to. So I've been like on the prowl, like, I need to find a sister loctician. So when I saw this older woman and she has really long, healthy looking locks, I was like, "Are those sister locks?" Like, I knew it sister locks, but I just wanted to spark that conversation. She was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, who's your stylist?" And then she was like, "Oh, she's in Farmington Hills, but I don't know if she's accepting anyone, but I can pass your information along." And I was like, "Thanks, I appreciate it." Like, it's really hard to find someone who has my hairstyle and someone who's good at it. Like, her hair is really maintained. So she's like, "I'll get your information, I'll share it, and she'll probably have a couple questions." And I was like, "Thanks, I appreciate it." And so that turned into like a network connection and things like it. So it might be like hair, it might be fashion, it might be, "Oh, your shoes are really cute," or your dress. Like, when I go out, I get really fancy and it's the weirdest thing ever. I have a lot of girls that tell me like, "Oh my God, you're so cute," or your dress or outfit. And I'm just like, "Thanks." Like, it's weird. It's hard
Don't
for
get
me
it
to
twisted.
accept compliments from the other sex.
I was gonna say, you don't get it twisted, Vic. Like, when you get dolled up, Let me let it scrumptious.
Jesus Christ.
I'm trying to look nice, you know. Mama got
My blood pressure goes up. Dude, shut up.
I gotta
When I go out, I go out. I like to look cute. Yeah. So, which that kind of makes me feel that reminded me when I went out with Stephanie for her brother's birthday last year, and I got all dressed up because it was his birthday, and I was like, it's my birthday too, and I like to look nice, and I was like, I feel like I overdressed for the occasion because it was my birthday party.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a tendency to do that, and I go out for other people's birthdays or events. I get more dressed up than they are, but it's not like I do it on purpose. It's like this is what I picked out to go out and.
This bitch going act like she can dress better than me on my birthday.
Oh yeah. Oh, you think you look good, huh? You look punk.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You think you look better than me? How about I kick your ass out of here?
This why I don't
you ain't gonna look better on the street, are you?
This why I don't fuck with women.
Yeah, so that happens.
Jesus.
So
I'm not gonna lie. The jumpsuit today, I know. I like some masculine. The jumpsuit, the tracksuit you got on today, it's doing it for me.
God.
I don't know what it is.
I really like when a woman
it's
has
just
a bulge.
top. Michelle gave me this top. It's Ohio. Because it's Ohio State.
No, it's just I like athletic wear. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking.
I wore this to work today. I was like, gonna wear some black casual pants and this top, and I had this one over top of it.
I like a woman with strong shoulders, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I like them to the Michelle Obama back.
I like a hairy back.
I don't have a hairy back. No, that's too far.
No, she ain't got it.
We're saying he likes men, all right? That's what we're saying here. Right? That's what we're alluding to.
Oh, you like the broad shoulders?
Yes, broad shoulders.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't do that for you then.
We're gonna pivot.
Are we? Always seem to go back into your sexuality at some point.
That's it. I'm just hungry, so. Jesus Christ, my face hurts. Some people watching this podcast.
What the fuck are they talking about?
So many tangents.
So many tangents. Well, all right. Let's get into advertising some of this real quick. Let's lick this pig.
Lick this pig?
I think I'm supposed to say skin the cat.
Weird sayings.
I don't know, man. I had a stroke earlier. Yeah, that's a new one. The kids are saying it.
Let's lick this pig.
Jesus.
Wow.
The fact that she repeated it.
You're just so hungry that you're just like, I'll lick a pig right now. Like, what? It's not the same.
The bacon does sound good right about now.
See?
Yeah, well, it's alive still. So
someone say steak? No, mistake. Oh, okay. Specifically friends.
Yeah.
So, right, you asked her, what's the difference? I know for me, I always see this, meme or video on Reels where it's like a dude will see you in the gym or walking by or at the basketball court. Me and Spencer have already talked about this. You see him, you notice him. A couple more times, you notice him. 2 months go by, you notice him. You might give him a little nod. Oh, yeah, what up, bro? And then, 2 more months go by, like, it takes a while. And then you're like, what up, baby? And then
you do that?
Yeah.
Like, my name is John. What are you talking about?
You look like a Bobby motherfucker. You look like the motherfucker I know named Bobby. Yeah, good dude. Uh-huh. You know Bobby? Oh, sure, you know Bobby. So usually you exchange something. You might say what's up or dap each other up, right? You might have a small talk, and then you might
4 months though.
It's a progression. It's a progression, and then it takes a while. Then you talk. Then you talk a little bit further. You may work out together. You may hoop together, and then after you do that a few times, now you may go out to eat afterwards, or you might go, hey man, what are you doing on Saturday? Like, I'm hanging out with these people. So that's a long progression. It's not a very quick progression.
So it's like courting.
Yes, it's like legit full on dating, just without the the stuff.
Without the stuff.
Yeah.
Not the penetration.
No tongue, no penetration.
But it is like a weird kind of meet cute type of thing. So I had told people on the pod before, this dude who cut in on my lifting set, and then hey man, I'm about to whip his ass. Hey man, what are you doing? And he's like, you want to lift it, hop in with me? I'm like, you hop in with me. This is my shit first.
Wait, so what were you doing?
We were working out. So we were lifting in the weights and then working out. So then we lifted together and then we finished the whole lift together. And then now every time we see each other, we say what's up. And then I end up driving my man's home. Then we end up getting food eventually. After a while, yeah, he had to walk. He ain't got no car. He's an international student. It's hard for them to have cars on campus. So I took him to this crib and then we ended up talking. We ended up grabbing food once or twice. But then, things are busy now for me and him, so we ain't lifting that much. But there is like a courtship and an evolution. It's kind of how it was with Spence too. I didn't just start kicking with him immediately. It was like slowly talking and laughing and then we was hooping a little bit. Then you hoop a little bit more and then you go grab, some Chinese food. It's always gotta be Chinese food. If your friend ain't go get Chinese food with you, ain't no real friend.
He ain't really a friend.
No, you don't know that motherfucker.
Mm-mm.
So I'm curious, were you benching or doing squats, leg press?
No, this was a back machine where you're rowing it. Yeah. I just walked up on him on the treadmill like, I got you, boy.
Started cupping his ass. Just being like, I got you. Fall into me. If you need to.
Yeah. So I know that's how it is with me. With a lot of people, it's a lot of the small talk. You have to make sure that they're safe and assess. Personally, if it's an appropriate place, I'll act a little goofy and funny like my normal self. But if it's in a weight pit, you're not acting too goofy because you got to be cautious and careful because you don't want to get hurt or they get hurt. So you're just talking commonalities, like Spence said. And so that's how it happens with me. I just talk, be myself, and then you see someone matches your weird. I always tell this to clients, students. If you're always masking, you're going to meet people that like the mask. If you unmask, then you are going to meet one weird son of a gun that's going to be like, oh, shit, I like you. And you're going to be like, oh, shit, I see that you like me, and I like you being weird, too. You want to go be weird together and go lift some weights and eat some pizza? Oh, for real? Oh, shit, let's do it. That's how it works.
So it's weird you say that because the lady that I told you guys about, she's like, so how's the work environment? And I was like, well, I'm the only one. So that's that. I just come in, do my own thing, and stay to myself. Yep. I don't really participate in extracurricular activities. And she was like, I'm the same way. And I was like, she's an older me. She gets it.
Yeah.
And it was just like that bond, like everything I said, it was matching. And I was just like, I want her to work with me.
Yep.
I need another person that looks like me that I can see every day and that gets and sees all this dumb shit that goes on.
See, if you were a 300-pound dude, you'd ask her to Chinese food.
It's a progression, right?
It's a progression. So yours is you're going to, like, I don't know, go do something. I don't know what women do. Long walks in a park? I don't know.
Long walks in the park.
I've done that before with coworkers. I'm like, yes, you're not wrong. I've done that before. I've done that. But I would prefer to eat over walking.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Today's a very sassy pod. Very soul food. Yep, grab some food, coffee. I feel like it's very common. Some pastries. I'm not gonna lie. I usually have people just come to the crib when I know they're safe. I'm like, all right, I ain't spending all this crazy cash. I'm gonna make something on the grill. We're gonna drink, have a good time here at the crib. Let's save some money. I'm about all this shit.
What do you cook? You can cook.
Well, I mean, we grill something up, and then we grill some stuff up. And then if it happens to be fully cooked and we live, it's a good day.
Happens to be fully cooked. That's taking a high risk.
Motherfucker burnt the shit out of some steaks. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, so they're either burnt or they're still mooing. They're burnt or mooing.
God damn.
Yep.
What'd the cow do to you? Fucking hey.
Yeah, well, so it's different. Well, I wanted to make sure that it's different with both genders. It's going to be different with all types of folks, different cultural pockets, different identities. Different folks are going to have different ways of communicating and expressing themselves. And so the way that me and Spence may do it in more of an athletic way and then an eating way with all my friends, It's gonna be different than other folks that might want to do some more nerdy stuff, play video games. Maybe they want to do some more arts and craftsy stuff. Maybe they want to read together. I don't know. Maybe they want to go to a festival and like a concert together. That takes more time for me to trust you to go to probably a concert. I'd rather, eat. I ain't trying to you just leave my ass there. I'll leave you there. I'll leave your ass there real quick. So, I mean, there's all types of pockets. So specifically neurodivergent folks is this is the question is where do you make these friends? Or like some of my women I'm working with now that are older and they're getting in their 30s now and they're working professionals and they're like, their 30s, 40s.
That's
like, that's older. That's older than my normal 19. Older than 19.
Shit. I'm thinking, when you say older, I'm thinking like 50, 60, 30. We old?
Yeah, we're old. We're old.
Damn. Yeah. I didn't get the memo.
And they'll be like, Nas, where do I make these friends? Or where do I find like romantic partners and this and that? And they'd always be like, I wish they just like show up. And I'm like, rephrase that.
That doesn't happen.
Well, that doesn't happen. Also, if motherfucker just shows up in your house, run.
It's true.
Yeah. Don't be like, oh, hey, Timothy.
Hey, welcome. I didn't know you were coming in.
Yeah. You know Bobby?
Jesus, man. The door's locked. I don't get how you got in. Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you.
Surprise, I've been living in the attic for 3 years. Well, okay.
Well.
Do you know where I left my keys? Because I'm about to go.
Yeah, just been watching you. What?
Taking any good pictures?
Oh my God.
But in all seriousness, they're not just going to show up. So that means that you have to go out. So that means that you have to find and identify places that there will be people. So what are those intersections that you may hold that you can go out in public? So find out some of the hobbies, different things that you do. Go meet some people. Or do you just need to be in a public setting like a cafe, meet some people? Do you like to go into a pub? I don't really like the pub. But like people like to go there. Or clubs and this and that. Or maybe you do what some of my other clients did. They get on this app called Meetup. And so they do things in the community and you just meet up with a bunch of folks in the community. And it's like a community thing. It's not like one person. It's like a community thing. Do you want to go on Bumble and set it to friends? Because you can.
Yeah, right.
I've had clients do it. Colin's wife made him do it.
I've had a couple clients do that, like Indian.
Yep.
And she was just like, yeah, I met this one chick in Lansing and it just wasn't right. And I was like, all right, we'll go back to the drawing board. She eventually found, a couple friends, but I thought it was interesting. And it was almost like dating in a sense.
I mean, that's what friendship is. It's kind of this non-romantic kind of courtship. You'd be surprised at how many clients I work with where they're like, oh, man, I wish I could just like date my best friend. I'm like, girl, who you telling?
Well, say something.
Works out.
Who, me?
Yeah.
I mean, Colin's already married, but I could try.
Well,
get down on
you
one
have to
knee.
discuss that with him and his wife.
Yeah, well, she'll be out to pictures soon.
You know what's weird though? I feel like he might say yes. Oh Jesus!
Colin be like, "You take care of me." I'll be like, "Nope."
Will you help me when I'm in need?
Nah. I'll be in the bathroom pooping.
Jesus.
But you have to find these places. So you can meet people exercising, working out, reading. You can join things, classes, art, pottery, whatever it is. Just get out and do some stuff. You will find people. Maybe you're going to find people on the internet. To me, that's kind of sus because I don't really trust people on the internet. But there's ways you have to put yourself out there. So, funny thing is, I've been working with some clients and they're like, I don't know why people don't come up to me. I got resting bitch face. And I'm like,
that would be number one.
So, yeah, that's one of them. But also, then I started to dissect why is it always like that? Is it just like that? Is it that you're unhappy? With some of my clients, I found out that there's some obviously anxiety issues or depression issues, and thus it's just hard to focus on being more presentable. But some of them have like medical history issues with like severe and chronic pain issues. So you're not going to be happy when you're in fucking pain the entire time, unless you're not going to be.
Your face.
Yeah, and it's going to show through your face, and then men may not want to come up to you to date or to talk, and then other people won't want to come up to you because you don't look approachable. And people are only going to come up to you if you look approachable, whether it's dating or not. They got to have some in. They got to be like, we only do things if they're absolutes.
That is so true. I've had men over the years say, "Where are you from? Like, you should smile. You're so beautiful." And I'm like,
"Yeah,
I'm here minding my business. Do I really have RBF that bad?" And I do when I'm in public. So when I'm doing therapy or intakes, I try to be conscious of how my facial expression is, even if I have a mask on, because it's like people read that shit and they be like,
They do.
I don't talk to her.
They do. I present more bubbly, depending on the client and caseload. But if I'm like intently focused, I usually have my hand like this. I'm just locked in. And I'm not saying everyone should smile. I'm saying that there's certain ways to do this when you make eye contact or just a simple nod to say hello to people, just to be more friendly. All right. Spence, I'm going to kick this to you. Do you know about any other differences when it comes to men and women, or just in general? And you can just speak about your truth and how you meet friends, because you've got friends, and so how have you? Yeah, more than I do. So how did you make these friends? Did it just randomly happen, or were you both just balling, or did both of you just? I'm not even going to go there. I was going to go drum set. I'm not going there.
Not so much drum set.
Drum set. Do you play the drums or something?
My dad does. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yes. This is what you get, Dad.
So how did you notice did it work?
Well, for me, it's usually been through like school, stuff like that. Yeah, usually through school. And my friends, we usually connect. We have some type of connection, like me and my friend Cleo. We've known each other since like middle school / high school. And we go to concerts all the time together because we love the same music. We both love sneakers, buying them, collecting them, playing basketball, playing video games. So we have really good connections. And we met through school, and we just kind of, went from there, and we're like, I think we probably have grown into better friends after high school, because then we went to concerts together, and we kind of, developed more of like a trust, like, oh, I can really trust this dude. Like, we were friends before, but we never really hung out outside of school, and stuff like that. So I think we really grew into a friendship because we're both kind of just very chill, and we, don't do too much. We're not very extra.
You're not wild. Yep.
Yeah. And so I really love that, because then I don't have to like put on a front and act like I'm, this wild, crazy dude and all that stuff. And then, I met a few people through him that I'm actually really cool with now, because they're all kind of chill. When it comes to women, usually I'm friends with them more on like an emotional level, or / like more of like a, like they can take my humor usually. And that's how I usually kind of test my friendships with any type of like woman that I'm cool with. If they can really, handle my my jokes and my personality, I'll be cool with you. And then I'll hang out with you. That's been kind of my deal. And honestly, when it comes to when it comes to things I don't really like, when it comes to friends, it's like, I don't like somebody like who exceptionally tries to become my friend. That's not, I just don't like that. I don't like it. Like, if it works, it works. Yeah. Like, I don't need somebody being like, hey, we should hang out. I'm like, I don't even know you. What are you talking about? Yeah. No, chill, bro. Chill.
I get people that push really hard sometimes. I'm like, nah, man, nah. We ain't got no similarities in anything. Like,
yeah.
Like I get I'm funny, but like, calm down, man.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't happen like all the fucking time.
True.
But at the, when it does happen, I'm kind of like, maybe you should calm it down a little bit. Because me personally, I like to take my time, make sure that, our our like actual personalities connect in some way.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And usually the vibe check you don't pass a vibe check if you're constantly trying to like add me on something.
Yep.
Like Facebook and shit. And I'm just like, dog, if I want to add you on Facebook, I'll add you. Calm down.
See, I vibe with a lot of humans, but just because I vibe with you doesn't mean that I want to like be around you all the time or hang out an extended period of time. There's a different type of vibe. So you may vibe with one of my identities or personalities or the mask that I'm wearing in that moment, but not the one where I just want to chill and eat.
And that's why I think our friendship kind of worked out. Like, we didn't really push each other to do shit. Like, we kind of just were like, yeah, man, do you want to, like, go get some food or something? Like, yeah, sure, let's go.
You know, my big ass, I'm like, well, you know.
No, wait a minute.
I'm going to give you 3 choices now. Chinese food, Chinese food, Chinese food.
Chinese food or Little Caesars.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. We can get deep dish pizza.
Chinese Detroit style. Like,
it's just fried bread.
Fried bread.
Boy, I'm telling you, I ain't never been more turned down in my life right now, boy. Got damn good going. Valid points. It's a lot of similarities in what are your identities that you hold. Can you be comfortable? Can you be awkward, funny, personable? Do you feel safe? If you don't feel some of those things, you're not going to want to speak. And so I know a lot of neurodivergent folks struggle with small talk. I hate it and it's stupid and this and blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, yeah, homie, but the only way that you get to like the real stuff is through the small talk of getting to know them and see like if they're okay. And I'm like, you ain't even, what you talking about deep? Like everyone's talking about, I'm on a deep connection. Like, shut up. That sounds stupid. I don't ever say that. Like, what you want to do? Trade trauma for trauma? Like, that's not what that's not deep. Deep is like just having extended conversations about multiple things like interests, loves, passions, creativity. Maybe there's a little bit of sadness and anxiety in there, but that's usually later on. Deep should not be mistaken for trauma or like really hard emotions. Deep is just an extended talk when you're hanging with someone and it lasts 2, 3, 4 hours. Small talk to me is only the time frame of which you talk. Because small talk with me can go, a few minutes. I know a few bullshit lines to say because like they're memorized. But then like if I start asking you questions and I'm like, if I keep asking you questions, that's because I'm interested. To me, that's deep.
Well, and you don't want to like how unattractive is it to just put on like your traumas and things like that, like first time meeting somebody, like that's just,
not only is it unattractive, it's actually very unhealthy, and that's a red flag. That's not a green flag, that's a red flag. Well, to talk about your own harmful things that have going on and all that, that's just too much. The trauma dumping on someone, or as I said on Instagram the other day, telling people my lore.
Lore.
Yeah,
what's the name? My lore.
This is my lore. So that's just not healthy.
You don't want to be an interview though. Like you don't want something to just be an interview. You want it to be a conversation. Yeah. That's how the best interviewers ever have conversations. It's not just like, well, what happened to you during this? It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, you know, my ass, I'll be asking some questions, boy. But if I'm having fun, I'm just talking shit. If I'm in a weight pit, it's not a deep talk. It's a small talk. And then we're usually talking about, nutrition, lifting, clothing, things like that. Stress, not anxiety and depression, stress. There's
now, what about the opposite sex?
So when I'm working with women, I treat everyone pretty much the same. The only thing I tone back is maybe some of the humor and the sarcasm and the jabs.
No, I mean it's friendships.
So with opposite sex, so if it's men and women, or whatever gender it is, it's.
I have a friend. Guys, I have a friend that thinks I'm always trying to psychoanalyze him, and I'm like, dude, I'm just asking, like,
you like to ask questions. No, you love to ask questions, and so I think a lot of people may take that offensive.
But it's like that's for a person that doesn't open up a lot. It's like I'm not just gonna hold the phone in silence. It's like, dude, what have you been up to? Oh, nothing.
They're just not a talker then, maybe, because you do like to ask questions. Oh, they do.
They do talk.
They just don't like to be probed.
That part.
Got it.
They feel like they're being probed, and it's like I'm just making basic conversation.
Yeah. So that's them getting in their own insecurities, and they're probably holding some things that they don't want people to know because they're embarrassed. So like you can psychoanalyze them being worried that you're psychoanalyzing them, because that's a whole thing. And without a doubt, if I'm talking to you, I'm psychoanalyzing you, period. I've been doing that since I was a kid, not because I have the degree, because I'm looking for safety. I'm looking to make sure that you're a good human to be around. And so I see everything, every little micro expression, all of it is getting sucked in to my brain as a data point. But that person, right? I mean, I'll answer some questions. I don't care. It is what it is. But yeah, they're probably a little scared. With the opposite genders, that's what I tell my young men all the time. I said, you need to stop putting women on a pedestal. You're so anxious and scared around women that there's something that you need to obtain, something that you want to have or possess. It's too much, and there's too much in it. You're just having a simple conversation and talking about stuff. You're treating them just as if there was another human, not that they were someone that you wanted to have sex with, or someone that you want to have feelings towards. And then now there's too much pressure. Now it's weird. Now you're weird. It's too much. And I say this, don't get it twisted, because I get nervous when I'm talking to certain women, because I'm like, God damn, you're attractive. Like today, like when I got my blood pressure done today, she's like, oh yeah, blood pressure a little high. I'm like, yep.
You can make it higher. What?
Yeah, I remember in undergrad. I remember in undergrad, we were in class and they were taking my blood pressure, and a gorgeous woman took my blood pressure. She's like, damn. She was like 180.
It's because of you. It's because of you.
And then she was like,
I hope you
think
didn't have a boner, because that would have been embarrassing.
Oh, no, I don't think I did. No, I mean, I'm sitting in class with like 50 other people, but okay.
Was your dick?
My professor walks over. He's like, oh, let me take it. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's completely normal. And I'm like, yeah, man, because you ain't her. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to smell bad by just sitting here. I don't know how you try not to smell bad, but I was trying.
What?
Like, let me not breathe on her. Hey, how are you?
Pulse is going up.
I get nervous around some folks because I'm like, this person's awesome. But not usually always around attraction now at this stage in life. It's mostly when I find someone that is attractive to me, but then their personality is like a legit thing. I'm like, oh my God. And that rarely happens. And then I'll like get hella obsessive. I'll be like, so you shall be mine. You shall possess
in your
me.
closet later?
Yeah. We're going dancing.
Be in your closet later.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm telling you. So that's the biggest thing is taking down the expectations, taking down the anxieties. It's usually my boys that are screwing up, not so much my girls. My girls are usually worried that if they become friends with other folks, other genders, that they will be hit on, that the other boy will catch feelings. And they'll be like, I'm just being nice. And then they'll start, getting attracted to me and start getting on me. Most of the time, that's true, because most of the dudes really don't get talked to from a lot of girls. And thus, if one girl shows attraction, then the dude's like, oh, maybe she likes me. Like, now she's just being nice. So like me and Spence, we run into that issue a lot too, because we tend to be nicer people. And then people will think that we're being we're attracted to them and we're just being nice.
Like conceited much?
So that tends to be a thing. My girls are usually just worried that they're going to be, and then they have to be on guard. It's a thing. So that tends to be the bigger worry than actually making friends with the opposite gender. Where are we at? So I talked a lot about proximity, or I didn't talk about it, I'm talking about now. Proximity is the thing. You need to be in proximity to make friends. I'm not the firmest believer in long distance things. You need to experience them. Go out and do things. Have fun, right? Can you have fun on Zoom and shit like that? Yeah, but
it's not the same as an in person.
The efficacy is not as
therapy.
Good. Same goes for therapy. The efficacy is not as good. And as we know, men, especially neurodivergent men, might be really hard to make friends later in life because in school, like Spence said, you're around everyone, you're meeting people, you're almost forced to make friends. As you get older, you work in your job, you go home, it's very isolating. And so that leads to the higher suicide rates with men as they middle age. There's a lot of other things that play into that too in correlations, but women can still make friends and go do things because it's feminine to go make friends and to do things and to join meetup clubs and to do yoga and exercise things. And so men won't do it.
Mm-hmm.
We won't do it, especially some of my very proud masculine boys, and then especially some of my very anxious, very nerdy dudes. They'll just sit in their house. It's comfortable, so they avoid. So that's some of the stuff. We'll get into maybe some more treatment planning towards the end.
Okay.
Let's introduce the other scene and chat about that.
Yes. So, second scene, all about job interviews. So I believe it's Dale's dad makes both Dale and Brennan get jobs because they're 40 years old and they don't work. So they need jobs, or else they're going to get kicked out of the house. And so they go on a few interviews, and it doesn't go exactly to plan.
No.
So then we kind of see it. Have any of you had interviews that went that bad before? Anyone?
Vic,
I wouldn't
if
say
you got any
necessarily bad, but
okay.
I end up unknowingly applying for a position that would be like going into AFC homes and like making sure that they're adhering to the mental health code. And I was like, yeah, no, like I have no experience with this job, but I'll interview for it. And they told me about it like during the interview, like this is what the position entails. I'm like, that's definitely not what was in the job description, but here we are. So I said, I don't have any experience that you're, speaking of, or, just like, can you tell me about any experience? I was like, to be frank, I don't have any, like, but I'm willing to learn. So I felt like I wasted my time and their time because it was,
valid.
it just wasn't justified based on the job description that I did apply for. And in a previous job, weeks prior to that one, they were like very in my ass, like define mental health code for Michigan. I'm like, I may have read it once.
Yeah,
That's
how
a lot
do
of
I
shit
know?
to cover. But they were looking for a specific person with qualifications, and I didn't get the job, but I got the experience. So
True.
I have to say that was probably like the first one I mentioned, like the one I bombed. I was just like, I really feel like I shouldn't have done this interview. I wish I would have known because I would never waste the HR and the other people that, they interviewed me. They could have been interviewing a different candidate, someone more qualified, but it's like, you
It's
live and you
fine.
learn.
Yeah,
So,
it was probably only 30 minutes to an hour, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so it's fine. But yeah, you live and you learn, and it's still good data because every interview makes you more knowledgeable on what's going to be asked. You get more comfortable with those questions, right? It becomes almost routine. And so the more interviews you do, the better you get at them. You learn the code. Spence, I'm going to let you go with a tragedy story, and then I'll go. Because I've got many of them because right out of school, I went on a fucking buttload of them.
Yeah, I've had so many interviews where I'm like in the middle. I'm just like, why am I doing this right now? Like, I just wanted to hang up the phone because it was a phone interview. Just being like, click, like, I'm not getting it anyways. Who cares? Yeah, I mean, I've had so many interviews where it goes just terribly because I'm like, I was not prepared for that shit. I was not prepared at all. Man, because sometimes they don't ask some of the basic questions. Like, even if it's like the most innocent like question that you can ask, just like, tell me about you. I'm like, fuck, what do I say? Because
I like turtles.
Because at the same time, it's like, do you want to know me on a personal level, or do you want me to, or how it relates to the job and how it can go from there, right? And that's like kind of the thing I get stuck into, because I'm like, you asking me about me or just my career? Because sometimes they do ask it in a way they're like, well, like, what are you, what are your interests? What do you like to do and all that stuff?
So, like, do you want me to BS you right now, or do you want the truth?
I know.
Yep.
Yeah, and a lot of the time they want the BS. So for me also is that I overthink things a lot, especially even if the answer I have could be simple. And then I have so many things on my mind that I could answer to that I'm like, spam. And you're like, what? What are you talking about?
Sim.
Sim. So I don't know. For me, it's like I don't really have just one. I have so many. Like they all just mush together where I'm on the phone and I'm just like, this is fucking going terribly. Why am I still on this call? Why am I still talking to this person? I know I'm not going to get it.
I remember being Spence was on an interview while we were in the car, and she was asking him when we were in Daytona, and she's asking him, hey, you got any medical experience with like surgery stuff? And he's like, I don't know what to fucking tell
Have
you.
you been in the operating room? And I'm like, you look at my fucking resume.
I've never been in the operating room. I don't know any of this stuff. The thing said you didn't have to have any experience, so he applies for it. And so, I slid him a few things to say, but like, there's no way you can recover from that. And so that you seem incompetent in that moment, but that's because there is no competency in that subject.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, he answered as best as he could. And I'm like, you're not getting that fucking job.
Yeah, no.
Because you have no idea about surgical equipment. Go figure, it's all about surgical equipment.
Then you would have to have knowledge of like medical terminology, I would assume.
Well, they wanted
it's like
him have experience. They wanted experience.
Yeah, they had like 0 to like 1 year's experience, and then they're like, "Do you have operating room experience?" I'm like, "What the fuck? Who is that?
Yes,
who has no experience?
Who has it in sales?
Walk into
Like,
operating room?
Yeah, it's like a sales position. How many salesmen do you know that are in the operating room unless they're already selling operating equipment?
Those people do. They actually go into it and they're like, "This is how it works."
Yep.
And it's I mean,
so
it
it's definitely
wouldn't have been a good job for me, but
no, it was funny. It's like Jesus. That was one funny story when we were on our trip last year. Dude, I remember one specific. I've got the horrific one where I had like horrible anxiety attacks and like they hated me and there was just mean as individuals, pretty racist too. Out in, at a school out in Maryland when they flew me out in 2016. But here's a funnier one. I was doing some interviews when I was trying to leave St. Mary's, like 2019. Spring of 2019, I was doing interviews, yes. And I didn't get any jobs because I wasn't fully licensed yet, because I wasn't going to be fully licensed until like the following year. I thought that we counted my hours wrong and I couldn't apply for my licensure exam. So I was applying for jobs assuming that I was going to get licensed. And so I couldn't get any, but I got a lot of interviews, talked to a lot of people. My resume's awesome. Everyone wants to hire me because my resume, and I'm a dude of color. There is none therapists that are that. So I literally, anything I apply to, I pretty much get in. And then it's always, well, are you fully licensed and how long would it take? And then that's an automatic disqualifier because you're not fully licensed. So they don't want to hire someone that needs supervision still. That's usually always the holdup. But I remember talking to the University of Houston, and they asked me so many tough questions. And the lady was like, they were so mean, but the questions were so hard that it prepared me for every single interview after that. It's one of the hardest interviews I've ever done in my entire life. I'm like, I did so bad at this that I'm a fucking idiot. And I probably look so unprofessional, but I'm like, I literally knew everything and what to say moving forward. Like, how did you handle like a difficult situation, right, in the workplace? Learn how to answer that a lot better. And like, what did you do to de-escalate it or work around it and work through it? Learn that one much better. The strengths and weaknesses thing. Like that's a really tough one, is how do you work through a difficult situation? The strengths and weaknesses one, I got better at that as well through those conversations. Like you learn the code and the trigger words on what to say in these interviews. Doesn't matter what job you're searching for, applying for. You just got to learn the code words. So now, like Spence said, that ChatGPT has been really helpful because I would just Google what are the interview questions for this job, and I would send that to students too. Like, okay, you're going to interview for this. Let's Google it, and then I send them it, and then they practice it in therapy with me. So I did that for some jobs. I'm currently doing that now with ChatGPT, like helping me do program and evaluations to run a clinic, and it is like magnificent. So I remember taking that one. It was like the Houston thing was bad. The Maryland thing was really bad. I've also had it where people will look at my resume and they'll be like, Nas, like, oh my God, we love you. We would love to hire you, but you're not fully licensed and thus we can't. I've had people email me back like, this is a great resume. Hopefully when you get fully licensed, you reapply and then we'll accept you. I was like, fuck.
That's shitty.
Nothing was as shitty as Nebraska, where I did all the interviews. We're talking 9 hours of interviews and coach meetings. And then they're like, so Nazir, we love you. I wish you were my therapist, my personal therapist. I wish you were that. But we're going to go in a different direction because we're looking for something else. And I'm like, you've got to be shitting me. You've got to be shitting me right now. I thought I had that job in the bag because I knew how much they liked me. COVID happened. They had to cut one position because they were going to hire two. They decided to go drugs and alcohol instead of me. I don't know. Is what it is. That one hurt. That was kicking the balls. I learned at that point to not set my expectations so high. To just, just think that you're not going to fucking get it. That way you don't get super excited. Because I never want to get that happy ever again. I
know.
That was a massive.
Kind of reframing your thinking.
Bro, I mean, we were looking at houses over there. Like, I was all in thinking this was going to happen. And yeah, so then I got cut up right at the end. Interviews are tricky. I've had a lot of success stories where people keep asking me questions. Recently I've had an interview where it was supposed to be 30 minutes and we talked for 50 minutes. I feel like that's a good thing. I was talking about it today with my doctor, a Filipino woman. And we were talking about how some people may say things in a certain way where, you feel like, is this a racial thing? Is this because of the way I speak or the talk that I'm being asked this one specific question? Why the doubt or hesitation in me when you heard me articulate myself? And she tells her story and she said, well, since I'm bubbly, she's very bubbly. She's a tiny, tiny woman. And she's, a doctor, and thus people may not take her as serious. People may see her in an interview as easily pushed over, ditzy, dumb. We use these words today. Right? Airheaded. And I said, with me, they'll think more thuggish, more ghetto, unintelligent, unprepared, not articulate. And like Spence said, you get in these interviews and sometimes you get rushed. Like, you only got a certain amount of time, so I got to say this shit and I can't even be that articulate because I'm just literally just vomiting on you. Yeah. And it looks like I'm super nervous. And I can't go methodically through these because you're going to ask me too many stupid questions that almost are not even tangible to the job.
Yeah. Man.
So what do I do?
One. Yeah, I just had the same recent one with a public school, and they had like a list of questions that they wanted me to do beforehand, like 20 minutes before the interview. They gave me 2 of the questions already to kind of look at, and then they were going to give me 8 more.
10 questions
for 20 minutes.
What interview is this?
It was Eden Prairie Public Schools.
Oh Lord.
So and so I couldn't think about any other questions because I had to do like something to present myself. Like they asked for a presentation to present myself and like something to do. And so I made a video for them, wrote out a whole script for myself to make it funny / to talk about myself. And it was bad. It was bad in the way of because I hate it when I don't have enough time to answer a question, and they only gave me 3 minutes per question. 3 minutes per question. And so, I didn't have enough time to prepare for those other questions because they were just like out of nowhere, like, how have you dealt with diversity in your life? And what if you haven't, what would you do differently and all that shit? And I'm like, what the fuck? What? I don't.
The diversity question is always a question now. So everyone listening, they're going to ask you very specific questions. It's tell me about yourself and why you applied to the job. Why are you interested in the job? What is your role or what is your belief in diversity, equity, inclusion? Those specific words. Tell me something that you had conflict with or an individual or trouble with, and then how did you get over it? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are the trainings or education that you're doing currently or right now or moving forward? Those are the common ones. And then there'll be very job specific ones. So for me as a therapist, it's clientele that you work with, modalities in therapy, case management, how do you work with eating disorders, medication, nutritionist. So like Spence said, he got thrown a curveball. But if you're working in higher ed or in education systems, that's like one of the number one fucking questions there is.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It was just like, I felt like I answered it well, but at the same time, didn't feel, I don't know. It just, there were like 4 or 5 other people in the room, and it was just
even more intimidating.
Intense.
Yeah. Intimidating. And then also it's like, maybe I'm not what they think I am. You know, I talked about how I'm biracial and how, you know, I try to keep open minded for everything, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it's tough sometimes, especially for those ones that really like just curveball, like could not answer anything better. Especially you're giving me 20 minutes for questions that like now I'm under the pressure of being like, oh shit, it's 15 minutes. I only have 5 minutes to answer these fucking 8 other questions.
Correct.
Right now.
So it's trying to be precise and articulate. The only way to do that is to prepare. So you need to know all the questions technically ahead of time, and so which you can't. So that means you need to have them all prepared for. So you have to do a bunch of Googling, use ChatGPT, get the questions, and then you need to methodically answer them and then throw them in the fucking ChatGPT, have that spit out a more articulate response. And then you memorize them, and you memorize them, and you memorize them. So that way, when you get into it, you already need to know the conflict talk and what you're going to talk about. You already have to have examples for almost every single question ready. That's the only way to go about it as a neurodivergent individual, where if you got ADHD, anxiety, speech issues, you need to have it preparation. And especially if you have any speaking issues or speech impediments or tics, then you need to prep it and you need to go through it with a friend. Also, if you are on the spectrum, then you need to be looking for jobs and make sure that, you know, if it's a parent, then you need to click the ADA thing that says that, right, I'm on the spectrum or I have a disability. Click disability. That way they can't hold that against you. And you might even bring that up when they go tell me about yourself. When Salim's doing interviews, it's one of the main things I make sure that he says. That way they don't hold that against him. We focus on punctuality. We focus on never no-showing. We focus on quality of work. We focus on team building and like his lovability. But when it comes to being like articulate and maybe memorizing things in the store, it might not be as good.
Right.
But he will always show up. And so I always focus on him as the employee. You can teach him things, but it might take a little bit longer.
Right.
So what was held against me the other day is that you're applying for this administration job. You're confident. I said a few things that could have come off as asshole-ish, but I said it in a very kind way. So I said, I memorized all these things. I read your profiles. I know who you are. I know where you worked. I've done some research already. I've already done some strategic planning. I've done many things. I visualized this in my head many times. I said, it's just like how I train my athletes. Visualization leads to success. If you shoot 100 free throws, you get better at free throws. If you visually rep shooting 100 free throws, you actually statistically get better at shooting free throws than if you were to do nothing. And so I rep this and I rep this. And I said, so I thought about this for a while now. So I know some of the questions that you're going to ask. So then they start asking their questions, right? That are already pre-scripted. It gets to one of the administrators. She goes, "Nah, so you know everything. What am I going to ask?" I said, "Well, you're probably going to ask me when you want me to sign the contract to come on the team." And they all started laughing because I'm like, you signing me, you're going to ask me, let's do this. And she was like, ha, ha, ha. So that's why the boss man called me confident. But I also exude confidence because I know what I'm talking about. I articulate myself well. My students love me. I do a good job. I am confident in my fucking job. He said, "You're very passionate." So that's when I start to get weird, when I start bringing up this stuff, because the but was an administrator will not see as many clients. So you see 15, 20 hours, maybe 10 hours of clients, because the rest is admin work, meetings, building out programming. I was like, yeah, I get that. All my jobs have held that against me, being passionate and loving students. They've always said, you'll be regretful that you take this job because you won't get to see students in long-term therapy. You won't get to see them as much. And they were right. I did regret taking the job that I took at Purdue because I don't get to see them as long. Still a good job. I'm still very happy. The expectation at the next place is that my caseload would reduce. That's why I got a doctorate. So the fact that they asked the question was concerning to me because obviously I know what the job description is. Why am I going into this? Make sure you know the mission, the vision, and why you're applying for the job. Make sure you know the details in the job and you read it, the description of it, because those are the points that you want to hit. Remember the things that you're going to study. Practice with someone, especially if you're neurodivergent. That way you can visualize and rep it. You're already going to be anxious as shit, so you might as well rep it with actually someone instead in your head. I made a joke. I said, hey, I'm so anxious for this, I damn near threw up. That wasn't true. It wasn't that I damn near threw up. It's that I damn near pissed on myself. I just didn't feel like saying that. It's funny because I already knew 4 out of the 6 people that I was interviewing with. All right, resume. Throw it in a chat GPT. Have other professionals look at it. There's a couple hacks that we could go over. I'm not going to explain those on here, but there's a couple hacks to throw some things in your resume. Where you throw in the mission statement. You may put in small print and you put in white. They can't see it, but the computer algorithm picks it up and then they schedule an interview. So dress. Dress for the job that you're going for. You don't have to dress super bougie, but dress appropriate for the job. For my neurodivergent folks, that means, don't go up in there wearing shoes that are tied like super tight and the laces are all floppy or not tied at all or like super dingy. Don't go in there smelling. Make sure your hair's combed. Make sure your teeth is clean. Make sure you got your teeth. That's what my mom says.
Love it.
Right? Make sure you got a nice shirt on. Make sure that your clothes are fitting. If you don't have money, look for donations and go to places. They will help fit you.
There's always Goodwill.
There's a lot of places that help fit you just for the job. Yep. Goodwill, Salvation Army, they might even give you the stuff at Salvation Army for an interview. Certain colleges will help you out too. I know at St. Mary's they would donate clothes for people to do interviews. But make sure you look kind of sharp for the interview. All right. That was all the stuff that I had on there. I'm telling you, folks, the worst thing about interviews, me and Spencer in this phase right now, is the waiting. The waiting. It's like, oh, we'll talk to you in a few weeks. I'm like, oh my God, a few weeks. What does that mean?
How about I interviewed for a couple jobs in February and I just got an email last week. We decided to go in a different direction. I'm like, no shit. Duh. You told me 2 weeks.
2 weeks. I kid you not. In 2016, when I applied to like 60 some jobs, I was still getting decline emails like a year and a half later. A year and a half later, I was in the weight room with Spencer and it's like, yeah, sorry you didn't get the job. I was like, it's been a year. Go fuck yourself.
Right.
Yeah. Love those.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. I'm like, some of these interviews, man, I'm like, why would you make someone wait so long?
I know, especially if they give you like a specific date that they're gonna actually tell you that you move on, stuff like that. And then like today, I just
oh yeah,
I I sent a follow-up text to the person that I interviewed with because I said that late next week we'll let you know if you get it. And then now it's Monday, and I'm like, Ma, give me something. Tell me if I didn't get it or not, or just give me a little update, something. Like
It happened to my dad since this happened like 2018. He personally flew into Michigan from Minnesota for a job. This is like his second interview, and he was just like, I know what I'm doing. At this point, he worked for the railroad company. And this upsets me, and I wasn't even the person to interview for, but they didn't call him, they didn't text him, they didn't email him, they didn't send a letter in the mail, nothing. And this man spent his own money
disrespectful
in flight. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I'm disappointed. I want to go and do something, but he was just
so
like,
disrespectful.
do I want to work for a company like that? No, but still, like, no reimbursement for the flight or anything. Time wasn't compensated. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on out here in this world? Like, we can't email people or call and say, hey, thanks for coming, but something.
For some reason, every time I apply to the University of Michigan, they never send me anything. They never give me a rejection, anything. And I never go on to the next phase. I go into the next phase at almost every single place I go to. University of Michigan will not give me an interview. I have no idea what's going on.
That's why I'm wearing Ohio State.
I will never apply for that shit again. I'm just like, for real. You didn't interview me for the therapist or the administrator job, but yet I'm getting an interview for some of the biggest programs in the nation. I'm getting interviews from Johns Hopkins. It's an insult. It's weird. It's very disrespectful. Just let me know if I'm not going to the next round.
Right.
So those of you with anxiety-based disorders, panic disorders, do your best to, be kind and patient to yourself, like me, Spence, Vicky. That you're going to be anxious. Accept that. Go with it. It's completely fine and normalized. Like, don't be like, I should be cool about this. No, you should be freaking the fuck out.
Preoccupy your time with something else. Distract yourself.
Yeah. Kind of distract yourself.
Activities.
Right. Play to baby Jesus, whatever you got to do. And you just got to wait it out, and you keep putting it in the air, and you just put faith in it, and it is what it is. We see what happens. If it doesn't work out, you'll pivot.
Right.
And you'll pivot.
What's for you will be for you.
Yep. And it's all learning experiences. It's all growth. You can go get some coaching, work on the resume, work on the clothing, work on all the questions, right? You work on the questions. The biggest thing for neurodivergent folks is working on the questions and responses. Right. You have to practice it, people. You just have to, out loud. Go in your room and start acting that shit out. Go up in there like, I don't know, some of y'all might not like Obama. I don't really care. It's really not about politics. But his speech giving and presenting is very good. So learning how to be an orator, right? Presenter. It's good to have when to pause, when to articulate, when to focus on one specific word. Inflection of voice, eye contact. If you don't like making eye contact, finding face points on their faces or looking past them or through them. There's things that you can work on, making sure that if you're going to shake hands, that it's a firmer grip. So me and Salim worked on his handshake because it's very soft and limp. So we practiced where I had him squeeze my hand for like 10 minutes to get the right pressure. It shouldn't have to do that, but you have to do that.
I've always done that, but I feel like that's not welcomed as a woman, maybe.
So you don't have to go super hard, but it needs to be, at least a good grip. It can't be like just flat. That's how my brother's is, very flat. Whenever someone shakes my hand with just completely flat hand, I'm like, you're neurodivergent, aren't you?
You're like, you soft. No.
I'm like, so, well, it's because the social norm is to at least like grab the hand, not just put out this fish stick. Yeah.
Come hither. Right. Let's see how it is.
You get ready to shake it. Damn.
What's up, dog?
Oh, twitchy ass.
God damn.
Make the shit. I mean, he'll do it again later, though.
Never mind.
So certain things that you need to work on being neurodivergent, because the cards are going to be stacked against you, because people pick who they want in the interviews.
True.
So it's not just based on your resume. So it's tricky. Be okay with the failure. God knows me and Spence, Vic have fucked up a lot of interviews. Or not necessarily messed up, but not gotten the job. So it's normal. It's super normal not to get the job. You're competing with a bunch of awesome, intelligent people.
It's hard to deal with rejection.
It's hard as shit, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard as shit.
Why?
Just like me. Everybody else like me.
Yep. Well, yeah, I don't even have that.
I know I'm perfect for this job, motherfucker.
I know. My dad's like, he's like, just tell him you work real hard. I'm like, I know that, Dad. I get it, Dad. I work real hard. Like, you always show up. Like, yeah, Dad, that's one of the basic minimums is to always show up. No, but he's always trying to hammer home your strengths. So today I did a reference check for a young man that was actually quite terrible at the end that works for me. But, I'm not going to hold him back. And I did his interview and I gave him pretty good, honest reviews. I held back a few things. It's someone else's problem. I already fired him. And then, he got the job today. The lady told me, yeah, I'm going to give him the job because his reviews have been okay. I'm like, hey, it is what it is. I'm not going to hold him back. God bless him. Do your thing. A neurodivergent boy going through a lot of health issues. It is what it is. It's time to move on. He worked for me for 5 years. I don't want no smoke. I feel like most people would have been petty as shit and then answered those questions poorly today. I don't want that. I don't want to fuck up anyone's life. He needs health insurance. I already know it's hard for neurodivergent people to land interviews. Unlike other people, I actually hire my own people, neurodivergent folks. People are, I'm not hiring them because they don't know how to talk. Yeah, go fuck yourself, man. Calm down. I hire people that are outside the box because we need to have different people with different minds working. I'm not saying this because I want any fucking, oh yeah, you hire people on the spectrum. I don't want that. I'm just saying that it's good to give people a fucking chance. Mm-hmm. So that's today's pod. Hopefully it helps normalize and validate that people are going through a bunch of shit when it comes to making friends, articulating, job interviews, weird shit, speech. Like, it's all super fucking anxious. All of us kind of suck at it and we're just doing our best. If you find someone weird, ask them to hang out. I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Not creepy weird.
No weirdo. Come with me. What?
Not creepy weird.
Oh, okay. Like, oh, yeah.
We'll define that later.
Yeah. Creepy weird is like stalkery, like creeper vibes. Yeah. Cringe vibes. Oh, the ick. That's what my girls call it. The ick.
The ick.
If they give you the ick, not the ick. If they're just weird, like they're funny and goofy, or they like they like the nerdy shit that you like, Dungeons and Dragons or some shit like that. Something Catan, something about Catan.
Catan. Oh, yeah, it's a board game.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the end of our show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, for watching our clips from Step Brothers. And talking about interviews, talking about friendships. How did we become friends, y'all?
Chinese food.
We just like talking shit and eating food. Yep. That was pretty much it. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Vic, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Everyone, please go like, subscribe, follow, share, do all of it. And also, we have a tip. We have a tip menu in our link tree.
$1 bills, y'all.
Little donation.
And also we have merch, so go buy that. So give us all your money, all of it. We want all your money. Yar.
Yeah, matey.
Pirate. All right, thank you, everybody. This is Different Spectrums Podcast. Bye.
Much love. Just got canceled by the 5 pirates in the United States.
Yar, I do not like their show.
All right.